tragedy at a Travis Scott concert, Astroworld concert. He's from Houston. And 8 people died, and Travis Scott found out about it after the fact and was, or like maybe towards the end, and then after the fact, and it seemed, like just devastated about it. But this is what Travis Scott said.
My fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, help them get the help they need. I could just never imagine the severity of the situation.
Man.
Yeah.
And severity it was. 50,000 people and 8 people dead with 25 plus in the hospital, including a 10-year-old, which I was a little bit surprised to see. I saw that there were people as young as 15 and 16, I believe, who were killed.
I think the youngest was 14.
Oh, that's terrible.
And then saw that a 10-year-old was injured, and 50,000 people at the Astroworld concert festival.
We had some audio, I'm not seeing it, but of people chanting, stop the show, stop the show. There's 50,000 people there. I mean, you're probably like, what? I mean, like you said, if I can tell something's going on, I try to stop it or try to, hey, we need, medics over here or whatever. But a lot of people are like dumping on Travis Scott and even Drake. There's lawsuits, I think, pending now or being filed now against both of them for inciting it.
Well,
somehow.
yeah. So because in the very beginning, as the chaos I think was unfolding, a lot of people, a couple of the stories I heard was that Travis Scott was saying something about like, I want chaos. Y'all come up here, come down here to the front of the stage, telling people to come down. And that's kind of when the crush started. And then also I heard that there was somebody in the chaos of, the big groups of people pushing each other. Someone in the crowd was taking a needle and injecting concert goers with some sort of unknown drug. And there were lots of, I think there was even a nurse who has been on several of the news stations trying to debunk that. However, Squid, I had you get some audio this morning of one of the police officers who responded, who's saying something very differently.
Should be like one of the last pieces of audio.
Is it a cut or is it?
It's a cut, yeah.
It's a cut.
Should be.
Interesting.
One of the last ones, no?
No.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
Very bad for you. You're fired later today.
Well, what the police officer was saying was that they had to revive several people who had been pricked in the neck with a needle and fell unconscious. And they had to be revived with Narcan.
Here it is. It was labeled Guard, which I wouldn't.
I think that's the name of the guy that's talking.
Just put Travis Scott.
Yeah.
So we know what
in the future.
Yeah, just, a little behind the scenes right now, but in front of the scenes is really pissing me off.
I will tell you, one of the narratives was that some individual was injecting other people with drugs. We do have a report of a security officer, according to the medical staff that was out and treated him last night, that he was reaching over to restrain or grab a citizen, and he felt a prick in his neck. When he was examined, he went unconscious. They administered Narcan. He was revived, and the medical staff did notice a prick that was similar to a prick that you would get if somebody's trying to inject. That is one part of it.
Gosh, that's scary.
Very scary.
We do have our official turn.
Oops. No.
That was my fault. Fat fingers.
Oh.
Hit 2 lines at the same time.
That's what you get. That's what you get for calling out Squid.
Well, am I looking for this way, just so the way it works, I have a screen in front of me that has, Katie sends audio or I send audio to Squid, who loads audio in the morning. You label it. So it'll be cut 1. It'll say late night in the morning. Oh, that's late night in the morning. Then it's like looking for Travis Scott injections, and it's like Guard. Like, I don't know what Guard is.
yeah, that was just like the name of the officer.
In the future.
Police officer Travis Scott would have been fine.
That would have been also something, just keywords. Yeah. We'll work on that after the show for many hours. See if I can pick up a phone line. We have official attorney Lisa Lanier. Good morning, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, things are going great over there this morning, huh?
Really? Hey, Lisa.
Firing on all cylinders.
I don't know if you know this, but we're award-winning. So.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. We just won humbly somehow. Best radio show in North Carolina. I don't know.
For having our ish together.
Yeah. Those fools down the hall.
Way better than two guys named Chris.
Yeah.
They can't even win.
Clearly.
Yeah, they wanted to win. They lost to us.
Yeah.
And I can't even pick up a phone line, and Squid doesn't know how to type.
Center guards.
But it's probably because we have you on.
Yeah.
That probably helps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gives some legitimacy.
Yeah, this Travis Scott thing, I was psyched to get your text there the weekend that you wanted to talk about it because I'd been following it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a backstory here where one of the big issues is that Travis Scott, this is part of his whole gig, his whole promo thing, is to incite people. And he has done this going all the way back to 2015 when he entered a guilty plea in Chicago for inciting a stage rush and inciting violence in a Lollapalooza festival. And then again, he was arrested in 2017 when he did the same thing in Arkansas. He stood on stage and told people, rush the stage, forget security, go right over them. And, and he tweets and he calls out for things like he wants people to do this. I mean, and he did, he said things right in anticipation of this show. There was not a 2020 Astroworld Festival because of COVID, so nothing happened then. But 2019, the year before, a stampede broke out, and again, he praised it, and afterward, he thanked them for doing it, and he said, this is basically what he wants to see. It's kind of what part of his whole persona is, and so, this is just 50,000 people, and you had dozens injured, and the injuries are things like paralysis. I mean, people were stampeded. So there's already been lawsuits filed, and all of the folks who put on the show, including Live Nation, including Travis Scott, have been named in the lawsuit. And you're going to see, I think, them having to pay out maybe hundreds of millions of dollars with as many people as are injured.
My goodness.
Wow.
So do you think you think there will be money people are going to win lawsuits?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, you've got huge negligence issues around crowd control, inadequate ingress and egress. So if there's a problem, people can't exit. He was heard to say on a recording that he could see an ambulance trying to get into the crowd, but he didn't do anything. He said his representatives have said that if he had stopped the show, there would have been a bigger riot. But I think depending on how you stop the show, if you said, look, somebody's been hurt, make way, let's take a minute and make way, there's an ambulance trying to get in. That's very different than just walking off stage and people riot, but I think if he had explained, let's take the music down a second, maybe he could even just keep talking to him or something. I mean, there's lots of ways it could have been handled, I think, to quiet the crowd. But he's been heard to say on the mic that he could see ambulances trying to get through. And one of the big issues is that people couldn't get medical attention. So some of these people might have lived if you could get medical attention in there to them.
Yeah, and then, is there some responsibility on concert goers, not the ones that are standing there and had good seats or whatever closer, and then they get stampeded, but the people who did it and just kept going and they're stepping on people? I guess that'd probably be almost impossible to identify, but where's the responsibility for the people that actually did the stampeding?
Yeah, I think if there, because at the previous Astroworld Festival, there were very few security officers, and they did, at least this time, they had almost 600 security officers. So if a security officer witnesses particular people stomping people to death, they could arrest them. But in that situation, it never happens. I mean, because it's just far too chaotic.
Yeah.
And the emergency is trying to get it stopped and trying to get help to these people. So it's really not, it's not something that you can stop and go, excuse me, I need to arrest you. It's just, and then after the fact, everybody's gone and scattered, and it's just you're not going to see criminal charges against any of the patrons for this. You might, again, depending on what he said prior to, and I haven't heard if he said anything prior to or during that really, directed people to do this, but that's what's gotten him in trouble at these prior, because he's had criminal charges all these other times because he literally, during the show, said, ignore security, go right over them, rush the stage. I mean, in so many words. I mean, crazy.
And what about, so I didn't know until this morning, I knew the Drake had made an unannounced, he showed up on stage. I mean, obviously nobody knew he was coming. And then now he's being named in some of these lawsuits too. What's going to happen to him? I mean, was he on the stage as well inciting some of this, or are there rumors about that?
That's the accusation. Yeah, that's the accusation in these lawsuits. And anybody, I don't know if Drake was one of the co-producers of it or the sponsors of it, but they've named a bunch of entities that put it on. And so it could be that he was somehow behind it. And maybe, I don't know if it's in his formal, if it's under the name Drake or if it's under some alter ego. but he did make an appearance, and I don't know what was said. I looked for any kind of video or accounts of what he said, but I don't think he's going to be liable if he didn't say anything. I don't think merely appearing at this show would be enough. I think he would have either had to have been one of the sponsors that put it on, or he would have had to have been inciting people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Travis Scott probably going to lose a lot of money in all these, maybe Live Nation, all that, which kind of sucks for them. But
and people lost the ultimate, which is their life while they went to the show. 8 people.
As always, she's great. A wealth of knowledge. Appreciate it. Official attorney of Jared and Katie in the morning. Lisa Lanier, if you're ever injured on the job, contact her right away at hireaheavyweight.com. Just to be clear, I think it sucks for Live Nation, who just has all these concerts going on.
Sure.
And they're like, well, we're not telling people to do that. He did that. But I guess this is how it goes sometimes.